Good evening, I'm Howard Sapiro.
And I'm Blanca Picasso. Here's what's coming up next on Panthervision.
Imagine someone who is heavily armed walking around the campus from room to room.
How prepared is UWM for a situation like this?
Set. The UWM track team is running circles around their competition. We catch up to some of the fastest Panthers on campus.
Hey, that's vandalism. It's okay, it's for charity. We'll explain.
All that, plus a trip on a floating classroom. Next on Panthervision.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UWM Panthervision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And now, the news.
Good evening. Imagine the terror, an active shooter on campus.
What would you do? And how would you find out about it in the first place?
Perhaps you've never thought about it, but you should.
Because as Panthervision investigative reporter Chris Burhine tells us, there are some holes in UWM's active shooter procedures.
You should be familiar with this sound.
Attention please, this is a tornado drill. Please
After all,
remain calm and
you've been
proceed
hearing it
to the
all your life.
Shelters. Shelters are located in the basement.
But have you ever heard this?
Attention, lockdown drill.
You would if you went to MATC,
Secure all doors and windows.
but not here. UWM has never held an active shooter drill. Virginia Tech, April 16th, 2007. 33 killed, 17 injured. Northern Illinois University, Valentine's Day, 2008. 6 killed. California's Oikos University, April 2nd, 2012. 7 killed. Those things don't happen here, right?
This is my class, where the lockdown was.
Don't tell that to UWM alum, Christy Clancy.
And I knew that someone could bust through here, or through there, or upstairs and around.
Clancy teaches at Beloit College, a quiet 1,300 student university nestled in a town of 37,000. At 12:36 on Thursday, February 21st, it happened.
I teach creative writing. So we were reading a story about a dead body. And so the atmosphere in the room was a little bit tense anyway.
A threat of an active shooter. Lockdown.
The doors open out into the hallway. And so you couldn't just pull it shut and lock it. They usually lock automatically. But then I didn't know if it locked automatically. And so in order to figure out if it had locked automatically, you'd have to go out in the hallway. And at that point, I was imagining an armed intruder walking from room to room, so I was kind of terrified to do that. But I found my keys and decided maybe the best thing to do is to just try locking the door from the outside with a key and then just pulling it shut and hoping that it worked. And then one of my students, he was really sweet. He wouldn't let me. You know, he was like, I'm going to go out there. You just sit still. And I was like, no, this is my class. I'm going to go. And he was like, no. So he eventually just took the keys, and he was very fast. And he just said, we're locked, you know, and handed me the keys.
Secure all doors and windows.
And that's exactly what you should do. In this training video on the UWM website, national experts say you should lock and barricade the door.
Do or anything you don't do.
But as in Clancy's case at Beloit, that's easier said than done.
You'll note here that
Chris Terry is a lecturer at UWM. Today he's teaching in Mitchell Hall.
It locks from the inside. Oh, not this one.
Most instructors don't have keys to the general use classrooms on campus. And while some doors can be locked without a key, many can't. And how do you barricade a door that opens out? With their door safely locked, Clancy and her students hid under their desks.
And I did imagine someone who was heavily armed walking around the campus from room to room. And I just wanted our room to look like it wasn't worth going in, that there wouldn't be anything there.
Huddled in the darkness, some students began to cry. They sent texts to their parents telling them they loved them. using the same phones that alerted them to the threat.
I am very strict about texting, so they're not supposed to have their phones out, but one of my students looked up and said, I just got a text that said to take cover immediately.
If it weren't for that text, they might never have known they were in danger. UWM has the same kind of system.
It's called Safe Alert, safety awareness for everyone. It's a program where you have to opt in, and it will alert you to any serious situations on campus by your cell phone or your email address.
But only 4,500 out of 30,000 students, 15%, are signed up.
So how many of you are signed up for the UWM Safe Alert system? 1, 2, 3, 4.
And what if the 4 in this class were absent or forgot their cell phones? There could be an active shooter situation and you wouldn't know about it.
Secure all doors and windows.
A mere 3 miles away, Milwaukee Area Technical College has an answer to that problem. MATC has a campus-wide lockdown drill every semester. An alert is made through a speaker system to every building on campus simultaneously.
Attention, the emergency has passed. All clear. Resume normal activities.
UWM police can override the speaker system in the union at any time, but there's no capability to broadcast an announcement in the other 38 buildings on campus. There's a new campus mass notification system being installed, but those speakers are all outside, not inside the buildings.
Stay away from the university area. Traffic
Unfortunately, school shootings are not new.
riding a bicycle has been shot.
The modern era of violent school attacks began with a sniper in a bell tower at the University of Texas in 1966. 15 people were killed.
This is a warning to the citizens of Austin.
What is new is the alarming increase in frequency. There have been 387 attacks on college campuses since 1992, and 30 of them since the 2007 Virginia Tech massacre.
Snipers have become a fixture of American life.
In the 47 years since that University of Texas shooting, technology has skyrocketed. Yet in the days of instant communication, alerting people of a crisis is still a problem.
For the first 18-20 minutes when we didn't know what was going on, you just imagine the worst case scenario. You truly do. And we were also desperate for information that we were all looking on our phones and the internet and everything was all clogged, trying to just find information.
For Clancy and her students, relief came with a follow-up alert saying that the actual threat was a block away from campus. Still on lockdown, students bided their time by playing Pictionary on the chalkboard. The all clear came 2.5 hours later. For the students and Clancy, the lesson was very real that day.
I have a 16-year-old daughter who's going to be in college soon, and if she was at the school, I would want the school to take the precautions that the school took. I look at all these students and I think they're somebody's kid, and people want them safe.
UWM Vice Chancellor for University Relations tells us the university is working on some of the issues we raised. Tom Lujak says the outdoor speaker system I told you about is the beginning of a multi-phase plan to improve communication efficiency.
That is the first phase of what eventually will be a truly interconnected audio system throughout all the buildings. We're not there yet, but it is something that we are working on, and it will be a while because right now the architecture of a lot of these older buildings is such that it's a real engineering feat. Our hope is in this next year we're going to make some significant progress in terms of moving towards that one button and you're speaking to the masses system.
Chris, did Vice Chancellor Lujak say anything about the low participation in the Safe Alert text system?
He did. He said that the numbers we got from the police department, which administers the program, he said those numbers were wrong. He said that 8,700 people are signed up for these alerts.
How does UWM's participation compare to other state schools?
Pretty poorly, actually, at least according to the schools that got back to us on our phone calls. Using the number given to us by the police department, UWM's participation rate is at 15%. Even with the higher figure Lujak gave us on Friday, participation is only at 29%. UW Parkside, on the other hand, is at 65%, and they have a mass speaker system. Both UWM and Parkside use opt-in programs, meaning students have to sign up to receive these alerts. But Platteville and Stevens Point, on the other hand, they have opt-out programs,
This means that students are automatically signed up to receive these text alerts, and they need to take action to get out of this program. So we estimate that their participation rate is 95% or higher.
Thanks, Chris. Whatever improvements might be made, time is of the essence. Over the past 3 months, 3 colleges in Wisconsin have had lockdown situations. In addition to the Beloit College incident Chris told us about, Carroll University in Waukesha went on lockdown after students saw a man walking with a gun. That incident happened on April 16th and lasted 90 minutes. And 2 days later, a UW lacrosse student entered a classroom with an unloaded shotgun. The incident triggered a brief panic on campus, but the suspect was quickly apprehended. 3 other school security issues are making it to headlines. One is a string of robberies at the downtown MATC campus. We will have more information on that later in the newscast.
The cause of a fire at Riverview Residence Hall remains under investigation. More than 400 students were evacuated at 1 in the morning last Monday after a small fire broke out in the second-story men's bathroom. No one was injured, and students were back in their rooms an hour later.
Another student government election, another controversy. After receiving numerous complaints, UW administrators have launched an investigation into the latest Student Association election. The investigation focuses on 4 areas, including the actual voting process and all individuals involved in the election process. Most of the winning SA senators ran on the Allied Student Voice ticket, which is the majority party. Their main political opponent, the Party Students for Change, did not appear on the ballots. UWM's Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs says administrators from the UW Whitewater will help with the investigation. And this is the 4th consecutive year there have been questions raised about SA elections.
And the problems for the SA don't end there. After a month-long debate between the SA and some sports clubs over funding, the Sports Club Allocation Committee was created. Chancellor Michael Lovell is now ordering the new committee to disband. Lovell says the SA didn't have the authority to create the committee.
The controversial UW System Reserve Fund is expected to grow to $1.2 billion by the end of June. System officials have been under a barrage of criticism since the existence of the fund came to light just 2 weeks ago. Governor Walker is threatening to reduce state funding in the upcoming budget, and lawmakers say they are united in forcing the system to freeze tuition. Tuition has increased 5.5% annually in recent years, and as I found out, sentiment about a tuition freeze is strong at UWM as well.
UWM sophomore Colton Dunham is a full-time student and is not sold on the idea of excess funds in the university system.
If the school system knew about the extra funds that were available and still increased tuition, then I think it may be a problem.
Tuition increases are a major issue facing students. 5th-year senior Natalie Kehoe dreads getting her tuition bill.
You know, I always have to ask my parents to chip in because it's usually like an extra $1,000, so it's a lot.
Colton is the co-editor for the Fringe section of the UWM Post. He is concerned about a lack of funding.
I think the school should put a little bit more money towards the UWM Post and also other organizations around campus.
Chancellor Lovell sent out an email on April 24th to all students, saying that the university does not have a large uncommitted amount of cash balance.
About $72 million of the $92 million in balances have already been committed.
Vice Chancellor for University Relations, Tom Lujak, has a message for students who question why funds are kept in reserves.
For us to then suddenly say, okay, we're going to turn the faucet off and we're going to stop paying those teachers because we don't have as many students would be incredibly unfair. That's what reserves are for.
Getting more students to the campus is a high priority for Lujak.
Our goal is to limit tuition increase. We believe that the best source of revenue growth is for us to bring more students in the door.
Colton just hopes that his tuition does not spike in the upcoming semesters. In Milwaukee, I'm Howard Sapiro for Panthervision.
UWM has about $92 million in reserve. 72 of that will be spent on building renovation. The rest is budgeted to improve campus services such as Wi-Fi and hiring more staff.
Up next, we'll take you for a ride on a floating classroom.
And a smashing car for charity. That and more when we come back.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
UWM students are smashing cars to pieces in Spates Plaza.
The kids will tell you it's a riot, but it's for a good cause.
Panthervision's James Ashcroft has the details.
With the wind blowing and music playing, students were lining up on Tuesday afternoon in Spates Plaza. Was there a new DJ in town? No. The brothers of Sigma Chi were doing fundraising efforts for their charity week.
And the entire week, we're just donating money to charity.
And the brothers decided that vandalism was the best way to raise money for charity.
One of the brothers just thought it'd be a good idea and everyone kind of jumped on board.
That idea? Smashing up a car.
We found a pretty not great shaped car on Craigslist, so we decided to get it.
Students paid $1 for one smash or $5 for three, as the Sigma Chi brothers raised money for the UWM Scholarship Fund and Huntsman Cancer Foundation.
I have no idea. It looks like we're going to raise at least like a couple hundred for charity, so that'd be pretty good, if not more. So.
Even Beauty was getting involved with hitting a beast.
I've actually never smashed something before. I'm not like some crazy criminal, but...
Kirsten Gonzalez, 2013's Miss Milwaukee, was even flexing her muscles in the charity event.
It was really fun. I've never get to smash a car every day, so.
The fundraising wasn't the only charitable act that was taking place. Milwaukee Fire Department were on hand, helping to promote their message.
We want the message of safe driving, whether that's drinking and driving, underage drinking. We certainly don't want any of that.
After the car had been pounded, and pounded again, the fire department pulled out the boys' toys and tore off the roof.
Usually, we cut apart as much as necessary to get the victim out. So sometimes it's as easy as just popping the door.
With the car in pieces, it should leave a lasting image for all. Don't drink and drive. In Milwaukee, I'm James Ashcroft for Panthervision.
Isn't the only cancer fundraiser at UWM. Every year, the school holds its Relay for Life event, and the school recently agreed to partner with the Milwaukee Bucks for a variety of fundraising activities.
While some students smash things at Spates Plaza, others are building things. Along with the preliminary work on Merrill Hall, the construction outside of Andaris Hall has students taking a detour. The Peck School of the Arts is getting a facelift right now, too. The money for all of these projects comes from the Wisconsin State Legislature, which in 2009 approved $240 million for UWM to upgrade and expand the campus.
If you have a UWM school email, you may have taken the bait in the most recent phishing attempt. That's because this particular phishing attempt came from what looks like a UWM email address. The hackers tell students that the UWM email system is being upgraded and that they must verify their account by logging into a particular website. Do not log into that web address. It's an attempt by hackers to get your username and password. UWM administrators say that if you have followed the instructions on the bogus email, you should change your email password immediately.
A string of robberies at MATC campus has students on edge. In tonight's MATC report, reporter Joe Pfaff takes us inside MATC's Public Safety Division.
At MATC, the suspect was caught, but it brings forth the question of safety on campus.
When students see crimes being committed or anything suspicious or unusual or anything that makes them feel uncomfortable, we really appreciate if they call public safety right away. The catchphrase that we use is, if you see something, say something. Be aware of your surroundings, secure your property, and then never leave it unattended are three really easy things that students can do to protect their property while on campus.
It's easy for students at MATC to fall into a false sense of security.
A lot of times students would feel safer because the police station is right across the street, but the college community needs to take into account the fact that when we call for assistance from local law enforcement, they're not necessarily coming from across the street.
MATC's public safety reaches out to the community.
One thing that public safety is doing to improve our communication with students is we're sponsoring a series of listening sessions where students can come and ask questions or just voice their concerns, let us know.
I feel the public listening sessions are great. It actually shows that
the officers care.
Safety remains MATC's biggest concern for their students. From MATC, I'm Joe Voff for Panthervision.
To contact MATC Public Safety, you can call 414-297-6588 for non-emergencies, and in case of an emergency, call 414-297-6200.
Milwaukee Area Technical College is being sued over a collective bargaining agreement. A conservative public interest law firm says the school's negotiation of new contracts for union-represented faculty violates Act 10. That's the law that eliminated collective bargaining for state employees. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is the group filing suit. Union leaders and MATC representatives say the lawsuit is frivolous.
2 UWM journalism students are national award winners. Caitlin Sharkey and Jordan Johansson are being honored by the Society of Professional Journalists. The organization's Mark of Excellence Awards named Johansson a national finalist in the online feature category, and Sharkey's work was honored as the national winner in the online sports reporting category. Her story, called Fields Apart, examined the contrast between city and suburban high school football programs. There were more than 4,600 entries in the competition. Students from Harvard, Yale, and the Cronkite School of Journalism are also among the national winners. Both Sharkey and Johansson are former Panthervision reporters and producers. So Sarah, we've had a little bit of improvement on the weather here.
We are looking at a great upturn because we're finally seeing summer temperatures at a perfect time because it is the end of the semester. So couldn't ask for better timing on that. As we can see, the fountain is turned back on. We're seeing students all over campus laying around enjoying the sun as we are heading into the final weeks of the semester here. People studying, enjoying, again, that warm temperature, even playing a cello. As we look into the week headlines, we're going to see this week a cool lake breeze, and it's going to cool temperatures here in Milwaukee a little bit more than other places in the state. We are going to see plenty of sunshine, though, luckily, but we are going to see a chance of showers possibly on Wednesday evening and Thursday. As we look at our current conditions today, we have sunshine, and temperatures this morning are looking around 49 degrees and a dew point of 39 degrees. And for the rest of today, that sunshine is going to luckily stick around for the rest of the day, and a high of 62 degrees and luckily no precipitation. As we look into the lows from overnight, Rhinelander at 40 degrees, Eau Claire at 41. As we look into the highs, we're looking at a big difference here. 62 in Milwaukee only today. Again, those lake breezes are going to make a big difference instead of the temperatures inland. 72 in Rhinelander, Eau Claire at 71, La Crosse 71, and Madison 74, over 10 degrees warmer than here in Milwaukee. As we look into tonight, we see clear skies and a low of 46 degrees tonight, and that wind is coming from the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. But as we look into tomorrow, that wind is going to switch around halfway through the day and come from the east instead at 10 miles per hour. We are going to see again sunshine and a high of 61, and on Wednesday again more sunshine and a high of 61 again, and a low of 50, and those winds are going to become calm. For the rest of the week, we're looking at partly sunny skies on Thursday with a high of 62. On Friday, those clouds are going to move in, and we're going to see a high of 57, and those temperatures starting to decrease in the weekend with a high of 57 and 54 on Sunday. So that's weather for this week. Not very excited about temperatures moving back down, but hopefully they'll pick back up by next week.
The sun helps. It's good the sun's out, so that warms things up a little bit
A little bit at least, yeah.
Thanks, Sarah, very much. A UW-Madison alum is the new head of the National Weather Service. Louis Ossolini earned his doctorate in meteorology at Madison more than 40 years ago. Ossolini has co-authored a book that the Wall Street Journal called the gold standard for weather reference books. He's well known in the industry as the expert in computer modeling and winter weather. Ossolini takes over a troubled agency. Congressional accusations of budget mismanagement led to the abrupt retirement of the agency's previous director.
A growing department at UWM is bringing area high school students to a much more open classroom. Panthervision's Samantha Nash has the story.
Odell Chalmers
And his Quiz Bowl teammates are on a 3-hour tour.
Eventually, freshwater is going to be our future since there's not much freshwater reserves out in the world.
They are learning about water conductivity in the Milwaukee Harbor.
I plan on going to UWM for freshwater science, and then I'm going to take freshwater science to either marine biology or micromarine biology.
Under construction miles from the main UWM campus, the School of Freshwater Sciences seems easy to overlook.
We can be a little bit of a loose cannon.
But their biggest classroom is pretty hard to miss.
The School of Freshwater Sciences is a brand new school on the UWM campus. It started in 2009.
The former Center for Great Lakes Studies is one of the smallest schools at UWM.
It's a little bit different, but it also keeps us more closely knit with each other. We're like a tight-knit family here.
Although the school only offers postgraduate degrees, they are working to catch the interest of young scientists.
That's an ongoing issue for us. We need to expand our recruitment efforts.
For Chalmers, Milwaukee is an ideal place to learn.
It's the only school in Wisconsin that I know of that has freshwater science and another marine biology program, which is really nice.
Chalmers and his teammates study the biology of the Great Lakes, water-related chemistry, and
aquaponics is another little project. It's another little project that we do inside of school.
In Milwaukee, I'm Samantha Nash for Panthervision.
The School of Freshwater Sciences' new facility is scheduled for completion in December. At MATC, the television production students work with some top quality equipment. Eli Martinez learns more in this MATC report.
Hello, I'm Eli Martinez, and we're here with Ryan Lemire, last year's Production Student of the Year. Ryan, can you tell us what is this device behind us, and what would its use be by the production students?
So we're sitting in front of what's called the TriCaster. This is a mobile production unit, a mobile control room that gets packed up into a few boxes, and then it can be wheeled basically anywhere you want to take it. So this is where the director, basically it's everything you need here. The director sits here, you got a switcher, you got your audio, and you got your hard drives, which rolls your packages. You can build graphics in it. You can basically do anything you could do in a studio's control room, but you can do it on the road with less gear and less baggage.
I'm Eli Martinez, reporting here from the production department at MATC, where the students are always using fascinating equipment. Reporting for Panthervision, have yourself a good night.
Coming up next, the Panther baseball team finally has some good weather for a home game.
And it's the sprint to the finish for UWM's track and field team. All that and more when we return.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Finally shines on the Panther baseball team.
And a Panther is getting his shot to play in the NFL. Kim Rime has the sports scene covered. Kim?
Thanks, Blanca. The UWM baseball team is hot and finally playing at home. The team was able to get in all 7 of their scheduled games last week. That in itself is news, given the bad weather the team has had to deal with this season. On Wednesday, the Panthers took a brief hiatus from conference play, taking on Chicago State. Henry Aaron Field was ready for action, and the Panthers rallied to win the game 4-3. That game was part of their 8-game winning streak and pushes the team above 20 wins on the season. Former UWM basketball player Demetrius Harris is going pro. But he's ditching the basketball shoes, instead lacing up for a pair of football cleats. The 6'6" power forward has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs as an undrafted free agent. Harris will be playing tight end. He'll hope to follow in the footsteps of legendary Chief Tony Gonzalez, who also played basketball in college. The Panthers are celebrating a great outing at the Track and Field Horizon League Championships in Ypsilanti, Michigan. The men placed first overall and the women placed third in the final standings. And as I found out, preparation for these track stars isn't all fun and games.
On your marks.
Coach Eric Kramer may look like he's joking,
Set.
but the students on the UWM track and field team aren't just playing around.
Push. Push.
The track and field athletes are in the final stretch of training for the upcoming Outdoor League Championships. The men come in as the reigning champions since 2004, and the women have finished in the top two since 1998, giving the team high hopes going into the event.
Very exciting, definitely excited for this weekend. On paper, things look tight, so we'll see what happens.
With 82 students on the team competing in 19 events, individual time with the coach is valuable for athletes like Samia Taylor.
Patient, patient. There you go.
The senior long and triple jumper is spending time practicing her approaches to get to nationals for the second time.
It was exciting. I never thought my sophomore year I'd be going to nationals.
Looking to join her at nationals from the men's team is Trinidad and Tobago native Darrell Busby. He says he feels the team is ready coming off the Drake relays last weekend.
And the performance of the guys, it's sort of like, yeah, we're on the right path to, to do well this weekend.
Busby was the lead runner of the team that won the hurdle shuttle relay event.
He was the lead-off leg, so he got us out to a great lead at the Drake relays.
With only one event left after the outdoor championships, the 82-member team has a unified goal.
Just getting better each week and put up some big marks this weekend.
In Milwaukee, I'm Kimberly Rhyme for Panthervision. Well, it's great to hear that the track and field team did so well this weekend.
Yeah, great job by the UWM Panther athletes.
Yeah, they only have one meet left, and it's the NCAA qualifying meet, so hopefully they do well there too.
Great opportunity. Thanks so much.
Yep.
They say home is where the heart is. For many international students, their hearts are overseas. But every weekend, there is a place close to campus where they can call home. Panthervision's Yu Lin has the story.
Mr. and Mrs. Myers opened their house for international students getting together on every Friday night.
We open our home on Friday nights. We thought it would be good to have a home where students could come and meet each other.
When international students come to a new place, they hardly find their sense of belongings.
We found international students are some of the loneliest people that first come to a new city.
International students are from UWM, MATC, Marquette, and the Concordia universities. Myers serve free food for students.
Brook Church helps us out with food. Pick and Save helps us out with food. And people who know that we do this bring food for us as well.
Myers House does not just open in this year. They started to open their house for international students 13 years ago.
We started about 12, 13 years ago, and we've had, I think, over 110 countries come through.
The idea of opening house for international students came from a Marquette professor's wife.
We had a professor at Marquette many years ago, and his wife do the same kind of thing on the other side of campus for many years. His wife died, and they had to drop the program. And so it maybe went 8, 9 years without anything, and then we just felt, having been exposed to that program.
Students can make friends and have entertainment at Myers House.
Now we're having a ping pong tournament.
So
you won? Yes. One game.
People chat and exchange cultures after dinner until 10 o'clock. In Milwaukee, I'm Yulin for Panthervision.
Spring fever is in the air as hundreds of volunteers take to the streets of Milwaukee.
As Panthervision's Robert White reports, it's all in good nature.
There's no sleeping in for Jennifer Duell this Saturday morning. She and hundreds of other Milwaukee residents hit the streets, hungry to make a difference in the community.
You see these problems out here and to actually take action and do something about them.
The UWM Hunger Cleanup is part of a national day of service aimed to provide a little spring cleaning to the neighboring areas.
This weekend is part of a national service day called Global Youth Service Day.
You see students out here cleaning up, and long-term residents know that students care about where they're living. And
Another volunteer, Kent Hoffman, who is in town overseeing the Triangle Fraternity, was happy to help out.
This is going to be nice and gooey.
We've been volunteering, I'd say, since the chapter was founded back in the 1960s. It's part of what we do each semester. We get out into the streets, help the community.
Nikki Glazer, the event organizer, was pleased by the early morning excitement.
So we want them to have fun and enjoy the nice weather and have some music that pumps them up.
But cleaning up the neighborhood was only one part of the event.
We have about 90 older adult homes in the local Milwaukee area that we have sent volunteers to.
Because of UWM's residential location, Nikki says it's important that the school has a good relationship with the neighborhood.
We live here too, and we want to make it beautiful and a great place to live.
In Milwaukee, I'm Robert Wyke for Panthervision.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
You can watch us on Time Warner Channel 14 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99 at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays.
This is our final newscast of the spring semester. We'll be back in the fall.
We'd like to thank the second-year television and video production students at MATC. They do all the studio work for the newscast and make us look good each week.
Thanks for watching and have a great summer.